Hey, Gemini, Intuitive Soul Coach here with your November 2024 bonus reading. Welcome back to my channel if you're returning, and welcome if you're new. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, Gemini, today we'll dive into the 1111 energy portal and how you can fully embody this cosmic energy to set intentions that are going to wave out and cause a little bit of a ripple effect over the coming months and well into your 2025. So we'll look at how you can best align with this energy, what is coming in for you, and what to be prepared for and ready for, because I do see here movement. I see movement towards your greatest good. I see that there has been consequences to choices that have been made in the past, but there is a second opportunity or a new opportunity coming in for you to redeem yourself in a sense. You start off with the Feast of Plenty, which we'll read from the guidebook at the end of the reading. But this is about choices and their consequences. It's also card 20, and this is spiritual rebirth here. Judgment in tarot is Scorpio energy, and I feel like it's at this time, this month. 11 is a 1, right? It has double ones, and the 1111 portal is also tied to and connected to intentions and new beginnings. So I feel like there is a choice that you are making this month that you are going to see come to fruition in 2025. So we'll sneak peek and see what that is here for you. Bottom of the deck, the hollow bone is all about teachability. So as long as you remain open to discovery, as long as you remain open to exploration and your curiosities, if you have a calling, if there's something that is calling you, or you feel compelled to look into a little bit further, then trust that you are meant to explore. And I feel for some of you, this may have to do with a move, making a move in your career, making a move financially, or within your relationship. I mean, of course, it can be any area. We'll dive into it a little bit further. But with the Wheel of Fortune showing up, I feel like this is destiny and fate really aligning here and giving you that nudge saying, yes, of course, you have free will. You can stay where you're at, but we're going to make it so uncomfortable that you cannot continue staying where you're at, because this is the crossroads. This is a pivotal point in your journey that you must make an important choice so you don't have to suffer. 9 of Swords, 10 of Swords in your reading here. You're letting something go. You're letting go of this disillusion of endings, thinking that endings are forever, right? Endings. And what I mean by that is we sometimes think that if this ends, that we'll never have that type of love again, or we'll never have that type of connection. Even when it comes to physical death, it can be very excruciating on an emotional level, but there is no forever. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed, and it's transmuted. And I see a lot of you opening yourself up to saying, what else? What else is there? Because my life isn't ending because something has stopped or something ceased to exist. What it's done is opening you up to new consequences. And look at what I see at the bottom of the deck, the 10 of Pentacles. It's in reverse. So for some of you, this could be divorce. It could be debt. It may also be, okay, we have the Lovers with the 10 of Pentacles and the 3 of Wands all in reverse. So this can also be about family drama, material wealth over emotional well-being, possessions and status that block genuine connections. Those are all things that can cause suffering. And I see here the choices that you are making, the choices that are destined, actually. So it could be choices that are out of your control, but they're actually for your highest good at this time. And the 1111 portal is here to remind us that we're not alone, that we are interconnected, that we can go through these awakenings and manifest new beginnings time and time again. All right, let's dive in here before we get too ahead of ourselves. So you're showing up here, Gemini, with the King of Swords as the air element that you are. And I feel like there is a turning point coming in where you're getting back into alignment with the core of your being. The core of your being, meaning that you understand the process of endings and beginnings. But I do see here, in order for you to step fully into this cosmic energy, you do have the 10 of Swords. The 10 of Swords is about denial, avoiding recovery. It can even be victim mentality at times because we stay in this disillusion. But the truth here is better than a lie. The truth is better than staying in some sort of suffering. And for some of you, it feels like you didn't want to believe that something was really ending for you, or you didn't want to believe that an ending would actually ever become a new beginning again. And that's not the case, not with the Feast of Plenty here. And I see with the Eight of Wands showing up, what do you need to be fully awake for spiritually is communication. Communication. This is quick, intuitive insights and downloads, and I have a feeling that you're receiving a lot of them. This is also intention. It's hitting your target. It is quick, swift, assertive, and direct action. It's the fastest moving energy in tarot, aside from the Chariot. So when this says be ready, it means be ready, because if we're not ready, opportunities come in as quick as they go out. And if we are sitting in the the 10 of Swords, if we're sitting in some sort of suffering, I feel like we don't always see opportunities. We don't see the truth of the situation, that there are opportunities ahead of us. So keep looking forward. Keep looking to maybe the future, or keep looking to opportunities to be teachable. And look at, we have surrender at the bottom of the deck here. Surrender. It's the Sky Dancer. Surrender to your divine path. Now, I've known a few people who have, no matter what, no matter the signs that are presenting themselves, no matter the synchronicities, no matter how many times they are coming up against a block, that the universe is saying this isn't the right direction. Their ego wants something so very bad that they continue struggling by going this direction, where there's a road closure every mile, right? There's a huge pothole every block. And it feels, no matter what, that you're on this shaky, unstable course. And I feel like Spirit is saying, enough suffering here, Gemini. You don't have to suffer. There is, yes, consequences to the choices we make. And if you are going to choose to go down this path, then of course that's your choice, and you're going to have the consequences of the road closures and of the big potholes and the detours and the caution signs. And there may not be a bridge to be able to cross over. There may not be ways for you to exit the ramp, right? I hope you're following me metaphorically here. And it feels like you're coming up to this point, this crossroads, saying, we have to take action in a new direction. And that's where your Feast of Plenty lies. But you have to surrender to your divine blueprint instead of what the ego sometimes resists. That sometimes the ego resists that we have an alternative path, that there's a renewal showing up here for you, a renewal of life. This is a turning point. This is also karma. I feel like you've been on that karmic hamster wheel for some of you for a little while now. I'm getting something with 3 years, maybe even longer. But you are teachable. You are teachable, and it's important to surrender to this opportunity, to this path, to this direction. And I feel if you do, you will be the benefactor. Look at what's showing up at the bottom of the deck. If we are teachable, if we surrender, if we try not to let pride and ego stand in the way, you will be the benefactor of generosity. Spirit will help you in the best possible way. And I also see some of you, there has been an ending through a loss, and there's been a lot of suffering, and maybe this shows up as a bittersweet unexpected resource. Maybe it shows up as an inheritance, or it shows up as, some sort of gain that comes from some pain. But I do feel like you are surrendering, and some of you, you're being open to learning new ways, and that is going to be the secret. And you may not even realize that you may have shut down some of those teachable moments because you said, Mel, I had a mission. I have a mission. I'm going for it. I'm all in. But as we sometimes go towards our mission, towards our intentions, we get lost in the disillusion of it all when things end, right? And some of you may have even tied your success to something external. And when that external things dissipate, we feel lost. We feel tricked. We feel confused. And I see here that you're taking action on a body, mind, soul level. So regardless of what happens outside of your control, that you still have this place to fall back on. You still have this feast of plenty. All right. What are the intentions that you're sending out into the universe? 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands is the card of the wounded warrior. Your intentions are, I will overcome obstacles. I feel like you're standing in your power saying, I didn't get all this way just to get this way or just to come this far, right? I feel like there is a warrior part of you, Gemini, that is standing up for your beliefs. It's standing up by maybe setting some boundaries. And I feel like the next couple of months for you, you may even be recovering. You may be going into recover or rest mode in order to balance out your energy centers, your chakras, right? In order to make some choices and changes that are going to help you feel more prosperous, more abundant, and more full of life as you enter into 2025. Because the 9 of Wands is a renewed sense of determination, reignited bravery, and the stamina to overcome external hurdles. And I do see that there has been external hurdles. How can you best align with this energy? 9 of Swords. 9 of Swords is stepping beyond your comfort zone and taking action, doing something that may scare you. It could be going within, right? It could be looking at your successes, because a lot of times our success is attached to what we're good at, right? It could be our career. It could be being in a relationship. It could be the way one looks, the way one is health-wise, right? We tend to attach our success to external things. And I feel at this time, Spirit is saying, but what about everything that you have overcome emotionally and spiritually? Look at how you've grown. Look at how you've evolved. You don't have to wrap or tie yourself to some sort of status or a role, because we play many different roles here on earth. And I feel like there has been, again, there's been some sort of suffering, but I might get some hate here, but suffering is a choice. We don't have to stay in that suffering, because this is a completion. This is you having a renewed sense of bravery, right? Just like that 9 of Wands reminds you, renewed sense of determination that even though there's been an ending, even though there's been a lot of maybe recovery or chaos around some sort of ending, that you can trust in the magic of a new beginning. All right. How are you receiving new downloads? How's the information coming through for you? And you have here the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is about destiny and fate. It's also karma and renewal and a turning point. So some of you, it is about you spinning the wheel and throwing your hand at trusting in something that is fated, right? Is destined. And it could be tapping into your astrological chart. And I've been seeing a lot of signs have been getting the same energy in this position where you've been looking to maybe astrology. The astrology has a wheel, right? You may be looking at your nodes, your nodal placements. You may be looking at some ancestral wounds, right? You may even be looking at disillusions that have come from endings and how you've responded to them in the past and what you want to do differently this time around, because that's the advice, to step outside of the comfort zone so you don't get back on that hamster wheel and keep spinning in cycles and cycles, and it doesn't feel like you're getting anywhere. But I feel like you've made a lot of progress. Even when it seems like you haven't, you have. And I feel like as time goes on, right, you're actually becoming more in tune with who you are on a deeper spiritual level. And when the wheel shows up, this is also Sagittarian energy, and it's about time, trusting in divine time. And that's really difficult for us to do, is trust that things happen in divine timing. And I do see here that there is some sort of opportunity that is divinely timed, divinely inspired. And that's why the universe is saying here, we don't have to sit in this suffering. There's a new path. Do you believe? Seeing isn't believing. Believing is seeing. And because I'm seeing the swords here, 10 of swords, 9 of swords, you're not seeing it. Therefore, you're not believing it. And the brain is playing tricks on you, right? The mind is playing tricks, telling you, wait a second, I did that before. It got me hurt. I did that before. I've suffered. And sometimes that can limit that capacity to even think outside the box. But I see here, Gemini, you have something big going for you. And I see this reignited sense of stamina and determination that is going to take you into year 2025 lit up. How will this new wave cause a ripple effect over the coming months? Because you're standing in your power. King of Swords is intelligent. He's logical. He's not going to let the 9 and the 10 of Swords play tricks on his mind like they have in the past. Because when they play tricks on a mind, it can cause one to be very skeptical. Very, very skeptical. And they doubt the universe. They doubt their path or even their own decisions at times when we see the King of Swords showing up as doubting himself. He may even lack the communication skills required and needed to tap in or to connect to others. But when he's in his upright position, which is how he's showing up rolling into 2025, this is someone who's very experienced. He knows how to strategize. He knows how to communicate. But there has been a lot of failed communication. There has been a lot of trial and error. There's been a lot of failures, right? As I very, very rarely use the word failure. I like to look at it as a growth or learning opportunity. But failure gets such a bad rap. It's wrapped up, not in a pretty bow, right? Failure is something we cringe, we shy back from because nobody wants to be seen as a failure because there's shame attached to that. And I feel for some of you, there's healing around shame. There's healing around, again, the concept of failure or not being good enough or not making it in some way, not making a marriage work, not making a business become big, whatever it may be that you felt you quote unquote failed. Can you look at it from a learning opportunity and allow yourself to branch off with a newfound sense of wisdom. All right, let's take a look and clarify some of these energies. Spirit, can we please dive into the Wheel of Fortune and the King of Swords showing up in 2025? What's this turning of the cycle? What's it include? What areas? What areas? Okay, beautiful. Page of Swords, 5 of Coins, and the 10 of Wands. 5 of Coins is in reverse, which means you're recovering back to a sense of stability, back to maybe positive health. For some of you, you may have even had some sort of back surgery, or, you did get to that 10 of Pentacles. We see, or excuse me, the 10 of Wands. We see you starting off with that 9 of Wands. There's 2 9s in your reading. I see a lot of 8s, a lot of 9s, and some 10s here. And even the Wheel of Fortune is a 10. So you've completed a massive cycle in your life, one that was very difficult, one where some of you physically or health-wise you suffered. And I feel like there's something quick coming in, and it could lead to quick recovery. It could be quick recovery in health. It's not a get rich quick. It's not a fix it overnight. It's something, like I said earlier, you have been making progress, even if you didn't see it. And I feel like this is coming in quick, and it's going to bring you to that point of recovery. But I feel like you did hit the end with the 10 of Wands, the heavy burden. Something became too much. And so what I see you doing is you're spinning that wheel. But at first, it's like if you've ever seen the Wheel of Fortune, Bob Barker, Wheel of Fortune, right? You have to kind of swing that wheel back to get a good grip on it, and then it rolls forward. And it almost feels like you had to bring something back in order to gain momentum and then launch off. And I feel like the wheel has enough inertia, enough energy now with that 8 of Wands backing it up and the 9 of Wands. Look at this. I mean, we have the 8 and the 9 of Wands, the 9 and the 10 of Swords, and then the Wheel of Fortune coming in. Some of you may even be dealing with a legal situation or a legal matter. Some of you are getting better mentally. There may have been a mental breakdown. There's no shame in that. It doesn't mean you're a failure, Gemini. It means that you're having a human experience. So give yourself some grace, because we are in unprecedented times. Things feel heavy, right? But I feel like what you will not do is give up on yourself, and you will recover your sense of foundation, your sense of stability. 5 of Coins, I like to see in reverse if I'm going to see it, because it means that some of you, there's been money or health issues. Some of you had to file bankruptcy, or perhaps there's been a foreclosure. There's been a loss of a home. There's been possibly a damage in your relationships that you felt like you were going to break. And some of you may have, in a sense. Maybe it manifested into, a dis-ease in the body. Some of you surgery. Some of you there was I'm getting like maybe a broken bone, okay, that needed recovery. For others of you, this has to do with your lack of support. As you see on the 10 of Wands, he's carrying the whole load himself. And I just see that there's some new choices that you're going to make that really helps you activate your destiny. It helps you fully surrender. And we have, remember, teachability as your advice, bottom of the deck. And we have the Page of Swords. Strategic solutioning. Page of Swords is the King of Swords, having new ideas, not being so set in his ways, not being so stubborn to what this path must look like, but being able to go back to the drawing board and use both the brilliant right and left hemisphere of that brain and say, wait a minute, I can get myself out of this, right? I don't have to take this path that's so darn difficult every single second of the way. And I feel like there is a new sense of strategy. There's a new opportunity. There's a new sense of brilliance. You're using your mind. Some of you, this has to do with mathematical numbers or equations. Perhaps you're seeing numbers. Perhaps you're crunching numbers, working maybe as an accountant, or there could be something with numbers increasing here with the King of Swords. And I also feel this Page of Swords, when he shows up, he's ready for a new challenge because he's curious. He has his thinking cap on. And that is where you have this teachability that really allows you to surrender to these ideas. And that's what's going to bring in this grace and generosity. And you will be the benefactor here. All right, let's look at the Feast of Plenty, card 20. The Feast of Plenty has to do with options, choices and their consequences, as well as life's blessings. A great feast is laid out before you and requires you to choose. What will satisfy your hunger? Something new and unconventional, or something you already know and love? You are faced with a plethora of options right now, and while that may seem to be an extraordinary thing, too many choices can throw you off balance. You might be worried that once you commit, you won't be able to turn back or refuse to confront the consequences of that decision. The most important thing to realize is that the feast is offering you experience. No amount of overanalyzing or strategizing will help you make the right choice now. Don't debate the right or wrongness. Instead, just choose. In the choosing is the seed of experience, and that is what is necessary now. Sour, bitter, sweet, savory. What matters is relishing the experience until you digest all that your choice is offering you right now. Only one warning. Avoid the same choice if it keeps you hungry. If something didn't feel good or does not bring you what it seemingly promised, do not choose that again. There's the suffering. I told you suffering is a choice. If it's not bearing fruit, Gemini, choose a new experience, because it's only going to repeat itself and you'll have more than a bad taste in your mouth. The feast is yours to enjoy. You can always go back for more when you are hungry again, for life's blessings are ever available to you and calling your name. Powerful, powerful energy here. So I definitely feel like those of you that have went back, it's like going to a buffet or going to a restaurant. And I'm guilty of this at times. When you know what you like, you stick to it, right? But it almost feels like what you like, you no longer have the explosion of taste buds for it. You no longer are able to digest whatever it is that you are choosing. It's just not aligned, but you keep eating it now out of choice because that's what you've always done. Even though your stomach gurgles, even though it's not helping you, even though it's lost its flavor, it's lost its taste. But I feel like there's a part of you that is ready to step outside the comfort zone. I see that here, Gemini, and that's what is required with this 10 of Swords. Can you go into this new restaurant? Can you go into this new menu, right? We'll call it the menu of life. And can you choose something else off the menu? And when the waitress comes, we'll call the waitress destiny, fate, the wheel of fortune. She's going to show up out of the blue, right? She's going to show up while you're still looking at that menu. And she's going to come in and ask you, because she's already been there maybe a few times and this is the final call, right? And I feel like it's time for you to make a choice. And no matter what plate comes to you, no matter what you order, it's going to be a new experience of your taste buds. And I feel like that's what you are meant to explore at this time, Gemini, because going into 2025, you may discover that a new item that you've ordered on this menu of life is the best tasting, is the most abundant, is the juiciest, mouth-watering experience that you've ever got to taste thus far. And I want that for you. Thank you so much, Gemini. I hope this resonates. If so, please hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell if you haven't already. And I'm sending you lots of love.